I will worship him forever, love him forever, because this God is too good. Oh, I will worship him forever, love you forever, because this God is too good. Oh. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Akwaba. If today is your first time stopping by to watch any of my videos, you're most definitely welcome. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for coming back today to watch another video. My name is Mansa and you're welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm just going to be sharing something that happened to me last year, and I promised to share it because not only because it makes me happy because I've achieved so much in the past year, but also because it gives glory to God. And I remember when all of this was happening, I promised God that if all was said and done, I was definitely going to tell the story. And it is just a story that happened somewhere around this very time that I'm talking to you guys. Today is the 18th of November, so yeah, I'm just going to share this story and I hope it blesses somebody, and most importantly, encourages somebody to keep pushing, because there's light at the end of the tunnel. I know you've heard that a couple of times, but trust me, it is the truth, because when all of this was happening, I honestly didn't think I could get out of it. I was so confused, I was so frustrated, I was so emotionally troubled. Honestly, I went through so much. I'm going to be sharing, but not sharing the details, because some of this information is actually quite private, but I'm going to share as much as possible just so that the whole story or the whole picture I'm trying to paint makes sense. So if you're ready, grab some popcorn, grab some juice, grab something that you can munch on, because it's going to be a long ride. So yeah, let's get into the story time. If this is your first time chancing on any of my videos, then you probably don't know that I am the CEO and brand founder of Bareskinn. So Bareskinn is basically a skincare brand here in Africa that we produce skincare products, and we recently launched our first product, which is a facial cleanser. So I'm just going to delve into the story. I'm going to date it back to November 2021. I believe that all of these things started somewhere in October. Yeah, the real thing actually started in October. But prior to that, throughout that year, throughout 2021, I'd been working on this project. So we had come so far in the project that there was no turning back, and then I had to invest all of my savings, everything, every penny, all the money I was making from other channels had to go into this project because it was quite capital intensive, and I'd invested so much that there was no going back. I needed to push, because I knew that what we were working on was a good project. Let me put it like that. It was a good thing, and I knew that it was going to really help a lot of people with their skin and all of that. And then the chemists I was working with on this project were very good people, so they put in a lot of work into it, so the project was good. Now we got to, guys, sorry, but it's hot in here, and if I turn on the fan, you guys will probably not hear me, but forgive me. Whew. Okay, so we had gotten to the point in the project where it was left with funding, and I had so much hope. So many people promised to help me with this, because as I said before, I'd invested a lot of my savings into this, and I'm talking like thousands of pounds, because we were making this in the UK. So thousands of pounds, and I'd already invested a lot of money into this, like a lot of money. I don't even want to go into the details because it was a lot. Whew. I'm going to try not to be emotional in this video because talking about this story really makes me emotional, and it just makes me know how good God has been. And when I reflect on all of this, it really makes me a little overwhelmed. So if I end up crying, please forgive me. Okay, so fast forward to 2021 when I actively started working on this project. I had to invest all of my savings into this because it was very expensive. From formulation to sample testing to lab testing to some packaging, all of those things, packaging design, packaging, printing, everything in China was money. It was all expensive. So I had to invest a lot into this, and we had come so far in the project. I mean, the whole of 2021 I'd been formulating, doing all of these things. So in October, when all of this dilemma started, we had actually finished sample testing. We had finished actual lab testing the formula to make sure that it was water stable. We did it in a UK lab, like a bioscience lab. So I had actually finished all of that, and then the bulk of the money that was left to be paid was for bulk production at this point. And I had so many people who had promised to help me with the project, and then I was all hyped, and that was when I traveled to Dubai. So we left for Dubai on the 29th of September, and it was an amazing trip. I had fun, all of that, but behind my mind I knew that we were working on this project, and then there was money involved, and I didn't have that money. I was so confused, I was so troubled, honestly. But there was hope because I had my eye on some money that I was supposed to use to fund the rest of the project. And in Dubai, so many things happened that those are private, so I'm not going to go into the details of that. But honestly, October into November, that was where the real deal started, because at this point I felt like time was delaying, because the actual timelines for the launch of our cleanser was supposed to be the last quarter of the year 2021. So that was, I was working on my timelines, and then my chemist was, encouraging me that the project was delaying. We need to start working. We need to, put in the funds for the last part of the project. And I was getting more worried because I did not have the money. And at that point, we were talking like, if the quantity I wanted to make, we're talking about £6,000. And even as at that time, pound was like 10 cedis. So we're talking around 60,000 Ghana cedis. And then, as I said before, like, I had invested all of my money, into the first part of the project. Let me say the phase A of the project. Now phase B is bulk production. And I didn't have the money. So I started getting more worried. I was scared. I was frustrated. So the latter part of my trip in Dubai was just frustration, problems after problems. We were going through a lot. Let me just put it like that. We're really going through a lot. And financially, my business wasn't doing so well because I wasn't here. And then aside that as well, things were just rough. Honestly, I feel like that last part of last year was really my wilderness, guys. I went through so much emotionally that I didn't even know how I was going to come out of it. So fast forward to December when we came back to Ghana. When we came back, when I say we, I mean my friend and I. So when we came back to Ghana now, it was real deal. Vacation is over. Mansa, you need to work. Like, you need to put in the work. Where is the money going to come from? What are you going to do? How are you going to fund this project? And guys, I was so troubled. Like, if I tell you, and I am not a big person, like I'm not somebody on the big side. So at that time I was like a size 10 lingering towards a size 12. So I was really doing well. I had gained weight, and I've always been like a size 8. So me being a size 10, moving to size 12 was really exciting for me, because my ideal weight that I want is somewhere between a 10 and a 12. And then when I'm stressed, I lose weight. Like this, I'm losing weight. So you can imagine me coming back, business wasn't doing well. I was emotionally troubled. I was going through the roughest time in my life. And I was also looking for money to fund my cleanser project. Guys, I was stressed. I came back, I literally was crying. Every single day, I will cry, I will pray to God, I will be troubled, and I honestly didn't know where the money was going to come from, trust me. I was so stressed, so stressed. Like, when I think about it, I don't even know how I pull myself together, because I was so stressed. And I remember on the 6th of November, I'm going to insert this picture here. On the 6th of November, I sat on my bed in Dubai, and then I wrote in, and I was just crying to God. And I listened to one sermon by I don't know if you guys know Mike Todd. He's the resident pastor at Transformation Church in the USA. So there was this day that I just opened YouTube. I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I'm always watching YouTube. I opened YouTube, and then I was just going through I was really emotionally stressed. So I used to listen to music or listen to, inspirational messages just to encourage myself or just to boost my spirit. And then I remember Mike Todd preached about crazy faith. Crazy faith. I listened to the entire sermon, and I think there were 2 different sermons that he preached on crazy faith. And he shared how they were looking to buy a building for their church, and the building wasn't even up for sale. I'm going to link it in the description. It wasn't even up for sale, and then he said that he wanted that to be their church because of how fast their church was growing. They needed a bigger space, and he just shared the journey throughout how they went about everything, and they finally got the keys. And guys, trust me, that message sank deep into my spirit, and it pushed me so hard. I think that was the turning moment for me, because I needed to hear something. I needed to hear God speak to me. I needed God to just tell me excuse me. I needed God to just tell me that, Mansa, everything was going to be okay. You were going to go through this. You were going to come out successful. Everything was going to be fine. I just needed to hear that to boost my spirit. So when I listened to that sermon, I was like, damn. So I just wrote on a paper, 6th November 2021, God is going to do it. Hashtag crazy faith, guys. At this point when I was writing this, I was still confused. I was still troubled, but I just, something just dropped in my spirit that if God was able to help these people to acquire a whole freaking building, like a whole freaking bank, I think it was an old bank, for them to use for this church, or to build a temple for him, then my cleanser project was a joke. Like, it's too small for God, and I know that God will do it, even though I don't know where the money will come from. So after that, then we came to, so I'm just going back just to tell you when I actually wrote this. Then December we came, that I just pulled myself together. Trust me, guys, like, I came back, and financially I wasn't doing well, because I said that I had already invested a lot of my money into this project, the part A of the project. So sales were a bit low, and luckily for me, when I came back, I had ordered some of our portable blenders, so they had come in. So like, I had made some money from that, so I was okay. But that money was was nowhere close to the money that I needed for the project. So I started looking around. Then luckily for me, I know how to do microblading. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just pull myself together. Let me start working, because the money is not going to fall from heaven, obviously. Even though I know that God could use somebody to just bless me with the money. But in that season and time, it was also difficult for a lot of people, because that was when we're moving into this whole, that was after COVID. Things were getting okay for people and stuff like that. So it was obviously not a good time. So I started gathering money. I started doing brows. I did a brow promotion. People signed up. I did some sponsored ads. Like, things were looking good. So I was able to pay, let me say, part of the money that was required for this project. Praise be to God. Because I am, multi-talented, I do so many things. And as at that time, this brow thing was really a trend. So I took advantage of it. I started, running ads, doing promos, just to try and, gather money and put myself together, because I wasn't okay, guys. I was emotionally still stressed. But I knew that my business is practically a one-man business. I don't have any foreign investors. I don't have anybody putting money into this. It's just me, and my God. So if I don't put in the work, who is going to do it for me? So fast forward to March 2022. So in March, was it in March? Yeah, in March, I was still, working. But when I came back to Ghana, a lot of things happened, with my business and also in my personal life. So many things happened. I practically cut off all my friends, guys. I cut off everybody. I stopped talking to everybody. I was in the worst place ever. Like, I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't trust human beings anymore. So many things were happening to me. Like, it was just a roller coaster of emotions. If I begin to talk about it, I will really get emotional. It was just a whole roller coaster of so many things. I cut off all my friends. I stopped going out. I wasn't doing, I cut off all my friends. I stopped going out. I wasn't doing anything. And I just channeled all my energy into my work, because, I got to a point where I realized that it was all not worth it. Like, it was all not worth it. I wish I could just share more details, but, some of the things are really private, and I don't want to put my private life out here. But, long story short, somewhere in July, let's move to July 2022. So I went into, let's say, a covenant with God. And in July, I was, angry at God, because I felt like, God, you have seen how much work I've put into this project. I began this project with you. I really want to do this. You know how passionate I am about skincare, and this means so much to me if I will be able to do this project. So I went into a covenant with God. Guys, at this point, my spiritual life was up the roof. Like, I was going to church. I am a chorister in church. I was devoting all of my time, soaking myself in God, praying, fasting, like doing everything humanly possible, spiritually possible, just so that God will move. I just wanted God to move. I wanted God to do something. God, show me that you have not abandoned me. You are still with me. Show me that this is what you want me to do. Provide the funds. Because at this point, can you imagine, from December all the way through to July, I had still not been able to raise the money. And this was really frustrating. Like, you can imagine when you are just at the final lap just to finish the whole thing, and then it's like everything is delaying. The patience had run out. Like, I had run out of patience. I was frustrated at this point. I was angry at God. I was bitter. I was everything, like all the emotions you can think about. I was feeling that. And I told God that, God, you need to come through. Like, you need to do this. I haven't lost hope. All the people I put my mind to that they were going to help me have disappointed me. All the effort I put into raising this money is now in vain. What do you want me to do? Like, direct me, God. Speak to me. And I, for one, I don't dream a lot. I don't have dreams. I barely dream, honestly. So I was really struggling because I'm like, are you going to speak to me in a dream? Are you going to talk to me? Are you going to let somebody talk to me? Like, God, I need to hear something. I'm running out of patience. Like, I am losing it at this point. And God was still silent. And trust me, that was my wilderness. Like, I'll just say, God took me to my wilderness. And God, I feel like in all of this, what I really, really learned was patience. And I learned that God wanted to show me that even the people that I had put my mind to that they were going to help me, God wanted to show me that, Mansa, you have thought and you think for me. You are thinking for me that I'm going to use AC, I'm going to use Ajwa to bless you. But I am not going to use those people. I am not. And I'm going to show you that it is still I. God wanted me to know that if I ever did this, nobody was going to take credit for it. Nobody. God showed me that, Mansa, I am going to take credit for this. Like, I am not even going to allow anybody take credit for this, because it has just been you and I from day one. And that was what I learned from all of this. And I keep telling, like, somebody that is dear to me that in as much as all of this happened and I abandoned so many people, I pushed so many people away, I went through the roughest time, I was so emotionally drained, I feel like I will still not trade what happened to me for anything. If I have to go through that another time, like if I could turn back the hands of time, trust me, I would still want to go through this, because this experience shaped me, guys. It shaped my thinking, my spirituality, it shaped my mindset, it shaped my thoughts on friendships, it shaped how I feel about people. It changed everything for me, how I saw life, and it really moved me, you know, to a different realm. So in August of 2022, I went into, as I was saying, a covenant with God, and I had saved up some money for this project, okay? And I go for this fellowship on Legon campus. I used to go for it in my uni days. I haven't stopped. I still go every month. So it's a once a month meeting, and then I remember telling the pastor about this project and how far I've come, and that I don't have the money for the rest of the project. And then he was praying for me. So at that time, the packaging for our cleanses were in. So each time I would go to church or any prayer, whatever, I will carry one of the packaging and I'll go and put it on the altar. I'll touch the altar with it, just trusting God. Like, I just knew God was going to come through, okay, but just at the time, it had taken so long and I was just very frustrated. So I went for one of the meetings and I spoke to the pastor about it. He's like, he'll pray for me. So I was even doing a bridal makeup that day. I think it was first week in October or second week in October. So I get a call from this pastor, and the pastor tells me that God spoke to him today, that he actually went to, I think, Atria Mountains to pray. So he called me and he's like, at the mountains, he had a revelation that I had been saving some money for this project, and God told him that if I would give away that money, everything, all of it, if I would give it away, he will provide. And then I'm like, wow. I really wanted to hear from God, and just hearing that gave me so much hope. And then I'm like, wow, God has really not forgotten me, and this is going to happen. So immediately he said that to me. There was this project they were actually undertaking under that ministry that I had already wanted to support. So I'm like, okay, where are you? Can I meet you? So I met him on Legon campus and I gave him all of the money, guys. All of it. I gave him all of that money. And I was like, I want to sow a seed. I mean, he didn't ask me to give. The revelation wasn't that God said I should give the money to a church, or God said I should give the money to a certain pastor. No. God just said, if I will give away the money. So I could have given the money to the homeless, given it to anybody, but because the project that they were undertaking in the ministry had already touched my heart and I wanted to support already, I was just like, okay, I think this is the sign for me to just give away the money. So I gave away all of this money, and this was money that was substantial enough that I could have, added on to finish the project. But I'm just like, since God has spoken, I'm going to listen. So I gave out the money. He prayed for me. Then I started fasting, trusting God. God is going to come through. God is going to come through. Oh, no. Not August 2022. Oops. No. This happened because we launched the cleanser in August. Nope, it can't be August. We launched the cleanser in August. So this was probably in June. Yes, what I'm talking about was in June, not August. Sorry. So fast forward, we did the directions, everything. He gave me some scriptures to be praying with. I was still trusting God for the money. So time passed. I didn't hear anything, nothing. I was still working all right just to raise the money. Then suddenly, I went to church one Tuesday. And when I went to church that Tuesday, I went to see my pastor at my regular church. So I told him also about this project, and then he made me bring one of the tubes for the cleanser. So I gave it to him, and then he put it on his personal altar that he prays on in his office. So each time I went there, I used to see it. So I went to see him on that Wednesday, and I'm like, Papa, I still need the money for this project. God has still not come through. But I haven't lost hope because I know that God is going to do it. So he prayed for me, and he said I should go and bring a stone from the compound. So I went to pick a stone, and I brought it. He anointed the stone and gave it to me, and then he said I should just walk on the compound for a bit, pray, and then throw the stone, and then that something was going to happen. So I was like, sure. I mean, trust me, like at this point my faith wasn't withering. No, like it's not like I'd lost faith or I knew that God wasn't going to do it. Nope, I had 100% faith that God was going to come through. But my only problem was that it was delaying. I felt like God was delaying. Like God was just being slow. Let me put it like that. Like, God, can you please act already, because your daughter is tired. I am tired. And I did that, and then I went home. So the following week, a week later, I went to church on a Tuesday. I usually go to church on Tuesday mornings for prayer service. So I went for a prayer service like I would normally do. And then I came back home, and my mom is like, something has happened. And I'm like, why? And then she's like, oh. So there's this auntie of mine I have in the US that my mom told about this, my project. And I hadn't heard from her in a while, because she knew about this, let's say in March, but she hadn't said anything about it. So one of my other aunties traveled to the US. That was, I think, in that June. So when she was coming back, my auntie gave her something to bring to my mom. So I didn't even know about all of this. So I came back from church, and my mom is like, oh, something has happened. My auntie Dede called her that she's back, and that the other auntie gave her something to come and give to me, to come and give to her. So Auntie Dede brought it, and then when I came, my mom was like, oh, she called Grace, and Grace said that she knows that she's supposed to give this money to my mom, or she owes my mom a certain amount of money that she could have taken out of the money that my mom has received, but this money is specifically for Mansa. Guys, when my mom gave me the envelope, and then I opened it and saw the amount of money in it, I literally burst into tears, because I was like, wow, this could only be God. Like, this is literally God, because all the people I thought were going to help me with this project disappointed me. And Grace was the least, trust me, she was the last person I thought God was going to use to help me. The last person. Because she knew about this from, like, let's say March. and then you don't say anything till like June, somewhere ending of June. So like, she's the last person I literally thought was going to help me, and it was actually around the exact amount I needed to finish the project. Guys, I burst into tears and I was thanking God, and I was so emotional because I was like, God hasn't forgotten me. I was like, oh my God. I actually thought God had neglected me, or God wasn't listening to me, or I wasn't praying enough. But God came through, and God's words were direct, that Mansa, if you will give away all that you have, or all that you have been saving, I, the Lord, will provide. And God provided, guys. God provided in the most beautiful way, and till date, I haven't gotten over how overwhelmed the whole experience was for me, and what God taught me during this period. And then I was able to pay for the project. I think I paid for it. I will check the exact date and put it down below, but I think I have a clip of when I actually went to the bank. So my best friend Septia was the one that helped me, with the whole procurement, because she's in the UK. So I deposited the money into her Cal Bank account here, then she will withdraw and pay the lady. Okay guys, so today I'm at Cal Bank. I'm about to make the last payment for my cleanser. I'm super excited, and yeah, let's go in. Amazing. It was amazing. And I just want to encourage somebody today that God exists. God is real, and God hasn't forsaken you. And it may delay, your faith may tarry, it may delay, it may not be how you expect it to be. God is not working with your timelines. God is just doing his thing. And I came today to encourage somebody that no matter how long it takes, or no matter how long you have to wait, just trust that God will come through. And each time I look at this, I walk into my office and I see this product, it just makes me so emotional. Each time I step into the bathroom and I use my own cleanser to cleanse my face, I just become so emotional, because I still can't believe God did this. And nobody is going to take the credit for this, because it is just God. God said, Mansa, it is just you and I. We did this. We did this. I don't want to be emotional, but I just want to thank God. And I just want God to know that I'm really grateful. I mean, when I received like the cleansers, the very day I received the cleanser, I think I received it 2 days before the launch. And that was also a whole hullabaloo, so much stress surrounding the launch of my product, but God came through in the most beautiful way. And I remember calling my best friend. I was in tears. I was like, I can't even believe God did this. Like, sweetie, I can't believe God did this. Like, look at how hard I have struggled, and how hard I have suffered, like all of these things. And it was so overwhelming for me. Like, it was so overwhelming. And I just want to say, I am so grateful to my family, my friends, Septia, Sasha, my family, my mom, my siblings, for being my support system, and to the one dear person to my heart. I want to thank all of you for all that you guys have done for me, encouraging me, holding me down. Betty, everybody, all those who prayed for me, all those who have supported me with this project, I just want to say thank you. And each time I look at this product, I know that God is not done with Bareskinn. God is going to move my brand to a different height, because it is he that started this, and God is going to end it beautifully. And I'm so grateful that so far so good. Like, we launched 2 months ago, and I swear I haven't gotten one negative feedback on this. Everybody loves this. Everybody loves this. I'm not even saying this to lie. I haven't gotten one single negative feedback, and we have sold a lot of bottles by the grace of God, and I haven't gotten one negative feedback. So it just goes to tell me that God had a reason why we launched in August 2022, because I had been working on this project for 2 good years from 2020, and how God saw me through all of this is still a wonder, and it's still amazing. And then I thank God for all the experiences. I thank God for taking me into my wilderness and bringing me out gloriously. I thank God so much. So this is just to encourage somebody going through the roughest time in your life. No condition is permanent. God will glorify himself in the most beautiful way with your story. And I always used to say that I want my story to give glory to only God, because it can only be him. And if this story didn't give glory to God, it won't make me happy, because nobody can take the credit for this. Nobody can tell me otherwise, that this wasn't the doing of God. And it is honestly so marvelous in my sight, and it has built my faith in him. And now, even if I'm going through something that is quite rough, I do not shake. Like, my faith has been so built that nothing moves me. Like, nothing makes me sad. Nothing can really dampen my spirit at this point, because what I've gone through and God has brought me out of it, damn, like, nothing can shake me. It's so unfortunate that I couldn't go into details of what happened, but just know that it was a lot. It was a lot for it to have affected me. How mentally and physically affected me. God did something, and God taught me a lot that I think will help me on the rest of the journey to all the other things that are yet to come. So thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Anybody who has purchased this, just know that you have supported my dream, and that it means so much to me that you invested your money into this. And I know that your skin is going to get better, and that I am truly grateful that you chose to support Bareskinn, because this is a dream of mine that came to pass, and I cannot thank you enough. So yeah, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And if this video encouraged you, please leave me a beautiful comment. I would love to read your comments, and I will catch you guys next week. God bless. May that's a baby.